Don't even dip your toe in the water. Unless you plan to swim, don't give a fucking inch. Unless you're planning to give in, don't even leave the nest unless you plan to fly. And no matter what, never say die. I said no matter what, never say die. I said no matter what, never say die. Don't ever say die.
All right, well, welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you guys being here. This is the Motivational Mofos, a podcast for rebels who will never stop pushing the limits of what is possible and attainable in their lives. Hosted by me, Scoob, and Virginia Coe. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about time you figured this out.
It's about time I do figure this out. But both of us faced and overcame obstacles utilizing the power of mindset, action, and I love this one, and rebellion. Okay? So, what's up, Virginia?
What's up with you? Rebellion fits, right?
Rebellion fits big time. I love rebellion. And to me, rebellion can be just thinking outside the box. It don't have to be so much like, you do all these things that are against the law and stuff like that. It's blazing your own path, thinking outside the box, or just eliminating the whole box, right?
Absolutely.
Going for something that it petrifies you. We're both nervous to do this podcast. It's new to us. It's something new, and I'm not gonna lie. I got butterflies going. You know what I mean?
Not me. I'm totally relaxed.
Are you totally stable?
No, you know what? I think you just approach it like another adventure, and both of us have no problem with taking on new adventures. You say, yeah, let's do it and roll with it. That's how you get ahead in life, is that you take the risk and you take the adventure and the road less traveled and just go with it.
I completely 100% agree with you. And everything I've done, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit as we go on this podcast, your story, my story. But 100%, that's how I've built what I've built, the business I've built, and the stuff I've done have come from that mindset of jump and the net will appear. No matter how, I was so afraid and scared of different things, so nervous. Fear was there like crazy, but I've always been able to push through fear. I was always really good at that. I'm thankful to the universe for that. Some people can't do that, Fear stops them in their tracks, and that's part of why we created this Motivational Mofos. Hence, it's right in the name to motivate you. Of course, we're the mofos, me and you. We are mofos too.
Hopefully, we'll attract a bunch of motherfuckers too.
Hopefully, we do. Hopefully, we attract so many people. That'd be so great. I think we will, honestly, and just with our story and with our means to empower people, and help them break through, find. If you're in that spot and you're kind of stuck and you have fear, and no matter what it is, and your health, wealth, money, business, that's what we're creating this for, is to give you a swift kick in the ass, so to speak, and get you moving forward. We should introduce ourselves since this is our first podcast, and tell a little bit. You can tell about yourself. I'll tell about me, our little journey, and you down for that?
Yeah. Why don't you go first?
Oh, you're making me go first?
Yep, I knew that you were going to try to make me go first.
I was totally.
So lesson number 1, pull the trigger before somebody else does.
Man, you got me. I was totally. You got that word in so quick. You started that sentence to cut me off because I was just about to say, "Why don't you start, Virginia?"
I got you.
Yeah, you got me. Awesome. Yeah, I'll go first. Well, okay. So my name's Scoob. That is not my real name. My real name's actually John, but I've literally not been called that all my life. My dad was a little bit of a crazy man in a good way, and he named me Scoob. He claims it was before Scooby-Doo come out, but if you look it up, I was born in 73. That tells my age, but Scooby-Doo come out in like 71, so he lied about that. And that's a whole another story how I got Scoob, but I literally been called Scoob all my life since kindergarten teachers called me Scoob. First grade teachers called me Scoob. So. And my story is I've created a business. What I do is coach people in the fundamental techniques of motocross racing. If you don't know, some people don't. Motocross is such a little sport. Some people don't know what that is. And it's, where you ride a dirt bike around a course that has obstacles. And they build them in a field somewhere. And it's a growing sport. It's getting a lot bigger. But that's what I've built, online courses for that. I have my own training facility here in Loretto, Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from, up here in PA. Winters suck. But Virginia's down in Florida, and I wish I was always down there. But I do get to travel. I travel a lot to do this training. I've been all over the country, all over the world doing this. And, one of the biggest things that I've learned along the way is you get these kids that come up and they want to learn these techniques, and they want to learn the fundamentals. Teach me how to do this. Teach me how to jump. Teach me how to corner. And I've been doing this for 18 years, and what I learned over the years of coaching was it starts with the mental. Like, I can give you all the tricks, the tips, the things that'll make you go faster. But if you don't mentally believe that it's going to work for you, and you don't start with the mental part of living like a champion in all facets of your life, it's never going to work for you. You're going to keep coming back for more lessons because you think that I give you these tips and tricks and these fundamentals and all this, that you're just going to blow up into this superstar. You're not. And I've learned that over years, and my coaching has actually switched from starting with the mental aspect of it, breaking through mentally for my clients, my students, so they start from there and they believe they can do it. Once they believe they can do it, it might not happen right away, but they will fight for it to happen, and they will push through, have lots of discipline, drive, determination, and that's where it all starts. My story with myself personally, and I'm rambling on here, and I don't mean to make it too long, but I was in a situation where I raced motocross all my life, and I became pro. And there's a big saying that it's one of the most mentally demanding sports in the world. And I faced that with a bad crash that I had back when I was about 26 years old. I crashed and destroyed my whole left leg. Bad. I'm talking, it actually didn't even break the femur. It mushed it. They actually, one point, were probably going to remove my leg. They thought they had to.
Lord.
Yes, it was pretty bad, and broke the tib fib. I blew every ACL, MCL, shattered my kneecap. And at that point, my thought was just like my students. I need these tricks, these tips. And I spent a lot of money on, I thought it was the bike. I needed that. And in one fell swoop, one wreck that I never even wrecked. I actually never even crashed where I fell off the motorcycle. I just had jumped a jump and my leg slipped off the peg, but it compounded it so fast and so quick. They had to reform my femur. It happened so quick that it actually turned my femur into mush. So basically, coming back from that, the mental game of being strong, being tough, pushing through a lot of hard obstacles. I was told by many doctors, you'll never walk right again, you'll never ride again. And I'll never forget it. I went to, I was in a wheelchair for almost 2 years. I couldn't put no weight on it, and I got out of the wheelchair, and then I had to be on crutches for about another year. Then I could do physical therapy. And when I went to physical therapy, this is where it switched in my mind. I remember going to the physical therapist, and it was a lady at the time, and I said, listen, I need you to kill me. They say I'm never going to walk right on this leg again. I'm never going to ride again. I want you to put me through the ringer. Make this leg the best you can make it. I'll push, I'll drive, I'll do everything I can to get this leg back to the best possible place we could get it. And that was the big change. And when I did, that's what happened. She killed me, absolutely killed me. I look back on that, and that was the big difference. And it changed my whole mental outlook from that point on everything I did. It wasn't about having the best stuff and spending the most money and this and that. It was about having drive. It was about having discipline. It was about being mentally strong. And I started to apply that to everything I've done. I'm big on online coaching, building websites, and we'll touch into more, in our podcast on that. But that's my strong point, more of the starting these businesses, pushing through the fear, going for it with this drive, with this discipline. And I came from that devastating leg injury, So that's my story. I rambled on a long time there. And now, No,
that's fascinating, because I didn't even know any of that about you.
I know. We've talked a good bit, but I've never actually told you that story. So yeah, that's it.
That's crazy. Even having that mindset, like, you still had to put in the physical work. So kudos.
Absolutely. Some crazy physical work. I used to actually I called it crutch walking. So I used to go on my crutches and actually walk 3 miles on a set of crutches.
Awesome.
I got so good on crutches that I was like a tightrope walker. I was a master. I could, do all kinds of stuff because I would have never done that before. That was the mindset shift. It lived in me, but I didn't realize it was there. This drive. What I'm very good at is drive, discipline. I'm very disciplined. And this determination. I have a lot of determination. Like, if you say it can't be done, that brings up something that we should mention that we're both Tauruses, me and Virginia, right?
Yep.
And that's cool. We love that. It's because, and we're known to have them traits, right? But them traits won't show themselves. Sometimes them traits, there's something has to happen in your life for them things to kind of wallow up in you and emerge, you know.
Right.
And that's what happened with me. And from there on out, that's how I lived the rest of my life, you know.
Yep. A catastrophic injury.
Correct.
And then that bull comes out. Yeah. I hear you.
That bull rears his head. There ain't no doubt about it.
Perfect. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about my backstory because I have something similar to where that bull came out, and that was a cancer diagnosis last year on April Fool's Day, which is fitting because God knows I have a sense of humor. So it was the perfect day to get a diagnosis. I really thought, you know, my doctor and I had a cool relationship after he tried to get me. Then I realized, oh, shit, he's not kidding.
He's not kidding.
Well, crap. Yeah, it was a big awakening at that point where you have to decide, are you going to accept the label of a cancer patient or are you going to say, wrong girl? And change your mindset and push through it. And that's what I chose to do. I could not identify with being a cancer patient. I will never identify with an illness. Like, you can accept a diagnosis. However, it is a choice to accept a prognosis. If somebody tells you you're never going to walk again or you have X amount of time to live, I call bullshit every time.
Yes.
Because no other human being can tell me what my limits are. I am the only one that gets to control that. You know, you and I have talked extensively about a mind-body connection, and it's real. Like, you have to really understand that there's a mind-body-spirit connection that drives everybody on the planet, and you can either accept the rules that are in place via society, like listen to your doctor, and accept what they're telling you, or you can say, that's not how it's going to work with me. And that's what I did. And I knew that mindset was going to be the key to getting me out of what I was going through. And I had to do things that, you know, normal people don't do and normal people don't say. My mantra was that I'm healthy and my body heals quickly. Technically, if you have cancer, are you healthy? I knew that in order to get where I was going, I had to visualize exactly where I wanted to be. And that was completely healthy, completely healed, completely in a different frame of mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because once your mind goes to that place, your body has no other choice but to follow. So I was diagnosed on April Fool's Day and then cleared on April 30th. So that was huge. I went through treatment, surgery, and then got cleared all in 30 days, and I knew that a lot of that had to do with my mindset. And I had to keep that positive mindset going. And so that's when I decided to really research, like, how the mind affects the body and how it's all connected and how we can harness this magic. It is so magical when you put your mind to something and then really drive in a physical way. Anything can happen. So I became a Psyche facilitator, and throughout the podcast, I'll introduce a little bit more, but it is just rapid mindset change at a subconscious level, and it is one of the tools that I use in my practice all the time. When I coach, I use that to help people get through the blocks that they're experiencing. That's me in a nutshell.
That's you in a nutshell. I have a question for you, because... And we've talked, and we've had this. You told me this story before, but I've never asked you this question, and it sprung up as you were talking there. When you got that diagnosis, did you kind of have in you that drive to say, "There's no way. This is not how I'm living. This is not me," or did it take a little bit? Was there something that switched that on, or did it just happen?
I want to say it was pretty automatic, like that instinct to not go with the flow has always been inside me. I've always been that black sheep, the troublemaker, the maverick.
Correct.
I can't accept things for face value. I have to find my own path. I have to find my own answers. It's through educating myself on everything that I can in order to make the decision that's right for me personally. And it was just in my gut, like, nope, not going to accept it. So it's a choice that everybody can make. And there's plenty of people out there that they won't go with convention. They will ask their doctor 20 million questions. You know, when I went into my oncology appointment, I had a notebook full of questions, and my doctor was phenomenal, and he answered everything almost before I could ask it. And that's when I knew I had a good doctor.
Yes.
If he would have fought me on anything, I would have gotten a different doctor.
Different doctor, absolutely.
You have to be your own champion because nobody out there is going to save you.
No, you're absolutely right. I can't agree more with you. And it's that mindset starts with that mindset of, you know, a lot of people get that diagnosis and their first thing is they start to believe in it, so to speak, and then it starts with the negative playback in your mind, the negative story in your mind. And anytime you do that, you're not going to break through, push forward, you know.
No. What if you would have accepted the fact that you were going to be in a wheelchair forever? What if you would have accepted that you were not going to walk correctly ever?
If I'd accepted that, that's where I'd be. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. There's not a doubt in my mind. That's what would have happened, you know. I would probably be in some wheelchair right now with a wife beater on, all fat, even though I did have put some weight on lately.
All of us have. We're in quarantine.
Yeah, we're in quarantine, so it's excusable. But I'd be in a completely different place. You know what you remind me of when you were telling your story? And I applaud you, honestly. I applaud you so much, and it's so inspirational to hear your story because I just love it and how it happened on that. I shouldn't say love it, I don't love it, but I mean how you tell it and like how you can laugh with it, and it happened on April Fool's and you thought it was a joke. And listen, I honestly applaud you and for the mindset to say I'm not accepting this, you know. Mm-hmm. And what that reminds me of is it actually reminds me of a thing Steve Jobs said one time, and that is if you look at everything in this world right now as we live on this planet, it was made by us through thought, right? It's crazy. Yeah. If you actually think about it, you can look everywhere. And it's something at some point somebody in their mind thought of, and then they made it happen and made it come to life through thought first, right? Even if you take the planet, if you take everything man made off this planet, everything, and you just have now the trees, the grass, the dirt, you know, that was still made. Whether, and you know, I'm just going to say it's what you believe, universal intelligence, if you want to call it God, whatever you want to, however you look at that. But that was made also from the universe, from material from the universe, right? Mm-hmm. But for us as human beings, I don't know. I just always loved that because you can look at my computer. I have right in front of me right now. It one time didn't exist. Someone thought it up. You know what I mean? So what you think you can make happen, and you can use that for positive or negative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we, as human beings, sometimes we default to negative. It's so much easier to think that our dreams are just that, like they're not real. They can't be manifested, mm-hmm. which is not true. If you have, wasn't it Einstein who said the greatest thing is an imagination? If you can imagine something in your mind, an outcome in your mind, you can create it. You have to figure out how. You have to put in the work. You have to actually do it yes. in order to attain whatever your goal is. You actually have to put in the work and take the action.
So you come up, the dream happens, something pops into your head, you come up with a thought, an idea, maybe a business, whatever it is that you dream, you might dream, but the next thing is, and you have to take an action. And a lot of people stop there, right? They don't want to take the action to start moving forward towards that goal, towards that dream, and they let it die. Because and the thing is, sometimes you wait. Maybe you have the drive and the discipline, and you're going to take action, but you wait too long, and other obstacles in life come in the way, and then you kind of, I mean, you know how many friends I've had that say to me, man, I can't believe what you built out of that motocross thing. I can't this and that and this. These are the same friends I remember being younger that would say, man, I'm going to do, I can't even remember some of them. You know, they come up with these kind of cool dreams. I'm going to have a food truck. My buddy Richie Matucci, I want to travel the world in a food truck. Well, he mm-hmm. never took action ever to make that dream come. he let it kind of fade away, and then you talk to him 5 years later, he's like, yeah, I still kind of want to do that, but I waited too long and all this. And I'm like, man, it's never waited too long anyhow. If you still want to do it, go for it, But just take one step forward,
We are not programmed. Well, some people are, and they do this very well, where they map out their next steps. Like they do one step at a time, and they take action on these small steps, and eventually they get to this place. But there's so many more people who they think of the end, they think of the dream, and they can't envision those small steps, and they don't take any to get to that dream. So they let it die.
I agree. We were talking a little bit earlier, and I'm looking at the picture on my screen right now of some core values that me and you believe in, right? And this fits perfect. The number one, and we both agreed we love these core. We have 6 of them, and then I have 0. There's really 7. But the very first one is this: don't make excuses, make it happen. That fits perfect for what we're talking about right now, because most people make excuses. I'm too old. I'm too fat. I can't make that much money. I can't, whatever the excuse is,
right.
The excuse kills it dead in its tracks right there.
We live in a society that is not exactly extremely kind or extremely judgment-free.
True.
So when they come up with these limiting beliefs that kind of keep them small, anybody who has these blocks, they keep themselves small to be protected, because nobody wants to face that judgment from society, from your peers, from your family. And you and I have kind of gotten to that point. I mean, I know that I have, where none of that matters, because I'm going to be the example. I'm going to be the judgment-free zone. I'm going to be the person that exudes kindness when helping somebody else attain their dream. And I don't need that from an outside source. Like, I never have to look for validation in order to move forward and do what I need to do. But that's what holds a lot of people back, is they're concerned about that judgment that's going to come. And that's tough to get over. There's a lot of fear there.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. And they feel they're comfortable playing small, because you don't have to answer to stuff. It's just easier. And listen, maybe, and if that's what you like in life, that's fine. You know what I mean? Some people, that's what they want. That is their goal. I want to be small. I just want to play small. I don't want to, but this podcast is not for people like that. And I'm not ripping on them. That's, I've known people that I've talked to many times. They're like, I like what I do, and I like just being, I don't want to start this, and I don't want to try to I'm fine just living in my house with my couple kids and my dog. They actually enjoy it, right?
Right.
And I mean, that sounds weird to us because we're not them kind of people. But I'm not ripping on them, but that's fine. But this podcast is more for, there's something there. There's something brewing in you, or it has already happened, but you got stuck, or you want to start and you just need that little motivation to to take one little step forward. And it is small steps. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to go too big too fast, right? They try to...
Oh, I'm guilty of it.
Me too.
Hello. I'm Taurus.
I'm so guilty of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I want to master the skill right fucking now.
Right now.
and be at the professional level in an instant, which it doesn't happen that way. So for really driven people, it is frustrating to start in a new place with learning a new skill set, because you're used to being the master of your own universe, and now you have to take it one step at a time again, and it's frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, one step at a time. It's what I love with my motocross coaching, and you bring up a thought I just had, and that is, there's this old saying in motocross: you practice, practice, practice. And what that means is, and what happens is, it's the same situation. Like, I'm the same way as you, exactly. I want to be the master right fucking now, right? Mm-hmm. But I've learned a lot of lessons in this crazy little sport of motocross, and that is, you have to practice these techniques and skills over and over. Sometimes it takes people. I was an unnatural, right? There's some guys that are naturals at this sport. It's just like any other sport. You join something, you might be a natural. You pick up the techniques and skills and fundamentals a little bit quicker. But for the majority of us, we have to take one little step at a time. We got to get out there and just get on the track and do slow laps. And in time, you will get the technique will come. It'll become great. What I call engraved into your DNA. It's just now a reflex reaction, right?
Yep.
And now these kids are flying, but they want to fly right now, instant gratification. They want to be a master of it right now, and it just don't work that way. The same way with life. No matter what you're trying, if you're starting to try a new business, you're starting to. I mean, how about an example? And you know this. I'm totally guilty of this. I want to lose like 30 pounds, and I go out the very first day. I haven't worked out in like 2 months, and I kill myself the first day, thinking that, it's stupid to do that because now it burns me out, and now I can't. Now I have no energy for the next day, and then you start to tell that story in your head that I'm just going to sleep in a little bit longer today, and it compounds, and once it compounds into that negative, usually you're done.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So read that core value again.
Don't make excuses. Make it happen.
There we go.
And let's go to number 1. Let's move to the next one because it fits too. And this might sound kind of mean or rude maybe in a way, but this is so true. Everything is your fault.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
And yeah.
What do you take? Give me your feedback on that.
I think if you don't believe it, you have some growing to do. It's once you realize that everything is a result of a choice that you have made or an action that you have not made. Like, it is all contingent upon what you are doing in your own life. Nobody is doing anything to you, for you. You have to take control, and you have to take responsibility for your success and your failures.
Correct. Everything comes back to you. And the tendency, and especially right now in this 2020 in this age, is everyone wants to blame everybody else for the way they are in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that totally is back to you. No matter what happened, it's back to you. It's your judging and blaming other people is one of the worst things you can do.
Yep.
Sometimes it's hard to face up to this, that I might have just made a mistake. Like I'm trying to think of a good example. It's hard to face up to some of this stuff. And you want to put the blame on somebody else. Oh, they made me do it. That's the reason why I haven't had a raise. That's the reason why I smoke cigarettes. That's the reason why I drink alcohol. Or, you know what I mean? But no, it's really your decision. You make decisions every day, tons of them every day. And they either lead you backwards, keep you stagnant, or make you go forward.
Right. And with that being said, not making a choice is making a choice. So if you are ignoring things in your life and hoping that they get better, that's a choice. So when they don't get better, it's your fault.
Absolutely. Because
you didn't make a different choice.
It's hard sometimes to tell yourself, it's hard to put that blame on your own self, It's easy to put it somewhere else is what I'm trying to say. It makes you feel more comfortable with it, with what happened. But that's just boxing you in.
Right.
Let's go to the next one. Want to hit the next one?
Yeah.
Here's number 2. Learn something new every day and apply it.
Yeah. So do you have a habit that you do or something that you do to learn a new skill every day? Now, see,
I'm going to be honest on this one. I used to be very good at this one, and I've slacked off. So this is my fault. This is all on me. I would at least read something every day, study something online every day. I was very notorious for just picking something up, like handball, for example. I want to go try that. Try to play guitar. Try to play drums. Whatever it was, I went for it, right? Now, I have to admit, in like the last 2 years, I haven't been learning something new every day and applying it,
Right.
So there's, I believe in that value. I totally believe in it and lived it for many years. But it's something I've personally got to work on myself. And reading it, I'm like, come on, Scoob, get your shit together.
But we all have those things. It sounds big to do something every day. However, you can weave it into your daily routine. And when I eat breakfast, I watch a YouTube video. It can be a motivational YouTube video. It can be a skill set YouTube video, something that does teach me something that I didn't know before. I just figure that if I'm going to feed my body, I need to feed my brain too. And it's the easiest way to do it because I'm sitting down anyway.
That makes it real easy. I love that. That's perfect. I'm actually going to pick. Actually, now that you say that, I do that. I guess I was thinking more bigger stuff. But, I can even get myself better at that. So I love what you just said. Feeding your body. You've got to feed your brain. Well, I do try to feed my brain every day with a walk and listen to some kind of motivational, something in my phone that inspires me. Not, I try to just stay away from news and anything like that. I want to hear nothing like that. Something inspirational, Let's read the next one. I don't know. I was thinking maybe save some of these for more episodes.
Oh, we can do that.
5.
You've read how many? 4 now?
We're 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
We only have 2 more.
No, actually 3 more.
Oh, you have 3 more?
Because I always started at 0. So wait, 1, 2, 3. Learn something new. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 more.
Dang.
We have 4 more.
If you didn't number them all wonky, we'd know that.
I know. I numbered the first one 0. I don't know why I didn't number it 1. You know what I mean? 0 through 6, so there's really 7. I'd like for people to hear a little bit more about your what you do with that. What's it called? The
Psyche.
Psyche. That's it. I lost it.
Yep. So Psyche is rapid mindset change. So what I do when I work with clients is I get them to realize where they have a block, and that's through just regular coaching. We can discuss, what's going on in their life, and I can kind of pinpoint where to guide them because I want them to be on a journey of self-discovery. If I say, what I see here is that you need to work on this. Who am I to say that? They need to discover it for themselves because it's so much more powerful when you figure it out on your own and say, yep, that's where I need to focus my energy versus somebody on the outside who has no idea, I don't live your everyday life. I can discern things through conversation. However, you really have to pick out what's going on in your life and realize where you're focusing your energy and where it can be better spent. And in doing that, I have discovered that I am blunt.
I love it.
I do not sugarcoat, and it's me. It's who I am, and it is the best way I can help you. If I sugarcoat anything for you, I'm doing you a disservice. So when I hear something that needs to be brought to light, I'm going to shine a motherfucking light on it and say, let's look at this because it's a big thing for you. So, I was concerned when I first started coaching that I came across a little harsh. And then I realized that I'm coming across honest. And it is in order to provide the best service for my clients that I can because they deserve the absolute truth when they are trying to remove blocks from their life.
I love it.
So
listen,
I no longer censor myself, You
know what's awesome here? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Virginia.
No, you're
fine.
But
I got to read 6 because you just led right into 6. So we're jumping around here a little bit. Here's number 6.
Okay.
Here's number 6 of our values. Me and you, our values. Tell the fucking truth all the fucking time.
Yes.
That's what you just said.
Yes. I love that because everybody is concerned. There's so many coaches out there that are not genuine. They want to sell you on a package. I don't want to sell you on a package. I want to sell you on fixing the shit in your life that you have neglected for far too long and does not serve you. So I have to be a little more abrupt, a little more bold, and get you to that place to shift you.
Yep.
And I think that the people who come to me can appreciate the fact, I got an email yesterday, and those emails that come that say, I really appreciate the fact that you speak the way you speak and you emphasize the way you emphasize in order to get me to connect the dots and make those realizations. And so, I cuss like a motherfucker. However, it is passion. It is
correct.
Just to highlight those things that we need to focus on and put emphasis on it and get you moving because some people just need the push to get moving.
I couldn't agree more with you. They just need the push. and you're bringing me back to, and I'd like to say something about a little coaching story on my motocross coaching. You reminded me of just speaking there. They just need to push. And, you know, and in my coaching also with motocross, it started out like I was, not that I wasn't telling the truth, but I was more not blunt, not in their face. And I started to realize as time went on that I needed to be, I needed to be blunt with these, there's a lot of kids, so, but you still can be blunt with these kids. And I coach a lot of adults also. You have to wake them up, mentally slap them sometimes, somehow, some way. And it reminds me of a story of a guy I had. His name, I won't say his name, but he lived in Connecticut. He owned a big business, one of the biggest construction businesses in Connecticut. And he'd been to me now like 5 times, right? And every time he came back, he was at 0. He had to start completely over, go through the basic first training every time. So on the 5th time he showed up, and I said, "Listen, dude, you're fired." He said, "What? You can't fire me." I said, "The hell I can't." I said, I don't want you as a customer no more. You're done. Like, I don't want your money. I don't want nothing. What I was doing was I was giving him the push, trying to wake him up, because I realized he was taking everything I coached him in, and he wasn't applying. He wasn't practicing it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how I broke through with him. I said, "You're fired." He's like, "Dude, what? You can't fire. The customer's always right." I said, "No, they ain't. You're completely wrong. You take nothing I coach you in, and you never apply it. I got to push you forward somehow. You've been here 5 times. You proved to me that it's not going to work with you. I'll give you your money back for today. You're fired. Don't come back." He's like, "What?" So he said, no. Like, "I'm going to make this happen." I said, "All right. That's what you said the last 4 times. And he said, "I swear." I could tell the difference in his voice and everything. So I gave in and coached him that day. And what happened was he left, and he come back. He called me 1 month later, and he come back, and he said, and when he come back, it was unbelievable, the difference. In 1 month, it blew me away. I mean, he had gone so many levels, so many breakthroughs, so higher, and I was like, now we can work on like some cool stuff, getting
there you
go. So basically, He said, this is what he told me. He said, "I went home. I owned the biggest construction business in the world. I had no place to practice." He said, "I cut down a little piece of ground I had." He said, "I told my wife, when I get home, I'm getting right out of my work clothes. I'm getting right into my motocross gear, and I just need 15 minutes. I'm practicing every day for a month for 15 minutes. Because Scoob fired me, and I'm going back there, showing him that I can do this." And that's what he did. And he said that 15 turned into 20, turned into 30. And then he said then the wife would start yelling, "Get in here. It's time for dinner. You got to see the kids," and all that. But unbelievable, Virginia, in 1 month, where he skyrocketed to was unbelievable. But, that's a long story just on the push part. But it was that push. I had to break through him with him mentally. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And make him understand that. So...
And a lot of people don't take the actionable steps. If they're not being held accountable, they buy every self-help book and it sits on their shelf. No, you have to actually read the shit and apply it. You can't just read it. You have to apply it. You have to take the actionable steps to get you where you want to go.
No doubt. Can't agree with you more. It's that, that first step I said earlier, you got to read the book and then take the action. Even if it's a wrong action, take some action. Because the wrong action will actually teach you even more, It don't have to be, and everyone, wants to be such a hit, not a hit, but a success on the very first, whatever they try. More than likely, you're not going to be a success. It's the failures that teach you how to become the success,
Absolutely. 100%. Those are your stepping stones. I never looked at a failure and thought, "Oh no, I'm done." Are you kidding?
Me either.
Oh, no. It's like, oh, no, I need to change something and keep going.
It's weird for me personally. I look back on it, and some of them, when they happened, I didn't even look at them as failures. It was like, I don't want to explain this. I didn't even realize it at the time, but I look back later, and I was like, man, I had so many failures. But I was so focused on not failing that when I actually failed, I didn't even realize it. Does that make sense?
No. Yes.
It's really weird. Like I failed, but I just kept going. And it wasn't even like I even got out of it a new way to do stuff, which is kind of was a hindrance to me. But I just was one of them people like the bull, push through, push through, push through.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I got to certain places in my coaching business that I look back and how much I actually did fail, but I didn't even realize it.
No, because you just kept going. And we have to, as two tourists and two coaches, we have to realize that not everybody is wired that way.
Correct.
So if I can just hold your hand and pull you along, like let me, get you to that place to where you can see that your failure is not an end-all be-all. It is a step. Now step up and step over and keep going.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Well, all right, guys, that's our podcast for today. We thank you so much for showing up. This was me and Virginia's very first one, and they're coming. There's more to come. We had these other 2 core values we're gonna touch on, and we're gonna touch on a whole bunch of different stuff that motivates you, that inspires you, that kicks you in the arse, so to speak, to move forward.
Absolutely. We have a whole bunch of more stories for you to relate to and get you motivated. And I've done plenty of stupid things. I'd love to share them so that you don't do stupid things.
Absolutely.
And, it's just a community where we can inspire each other and get each other going on the right track and let you guys know that it's okay to be the rebel. Totally okay.
Totally okay. Absolutely. And that's our, and listen, and me and Virginia have talked, we've met each other and we've talked a great deal. We can even tell our story how we met. It's kind of funny. And and our little 317 thing, it's an awesome story, I think. And that's for another podcast. But we're here to bear our souls, right? We want this to be as just laid back, and we're not going to hold back on anything. And we're going to just motivate you through stories, our stories of our own screw ups, our stories of our own successes, and what we've learned coaching people over the years on, and another thing me and Virginia have talked about, we have no script, right? A lot of these podcasts follow a script, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But we had no script right here. We had our core values, and that was it. And that's our plan. How about it from here on out is to just roll with it and go.
Yep.
And we hope you guys enjoy it. And hope, we're getting a website built. We're going to get that up. And we got a Facebook page done. So when you hear this podcast, it'll be about a week later, another week till we get it out. So we will leave a link below, and you can join our Facebook page where we can all interact on our Facebook page.
Sounds great.
Awesome, Virginia. Well, I had a blast bullshitting with you in our first podcast. It was awesome.
It's always fun.
It is always fun, and I'm looking forward towards the next one, Hey, what's crazy? It's like the, what is it, the Alcoholics Anonymous, right? I read a story about them one time. Don't let me go too long here. I can go off and go crazy. But they created that, alcohol. I don't know if you knew this. The 2 guys that created that back in like the 30s or the 40s or whatever it was, they created it actually to help themselves, right? They created that whole system, but it was because they were both alcoholics. And they just knew that being around the people with like-minded people and talking and telling stories and motivating, it all helped the whole group, even them, right?
Yeah.
They weren't these people that thought sometimes you look at some of these things where you think that person's somewhere above you. We're above no one. We're learning as we go also, right? And it helps us.
100%.
Absolutely. And if you ever get a chance, read that story about them too, Alcoholics Anonymous. Anybody that's listening to this, it's pretty cool how they built that thing. Basically, they just wanted to help themselves. So it's kind of cool.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Until next time.
They'll hold you underneath their thumb and try to clip your wings, but the only way they win is if you fucking quit. So never give in and don't take no shit. Don't even dip your toe in the water unless you plan to swim. Don't give a fucking inch unless you're planning to give it. Don't even leave the nest unless you plan to fly.